with Brittany Poff, and Brittany's getting ready to start college in the fall. And I've known her for many years and got to see her evolve into a very talented young bowler. And she's going on to college to pursue her bowling career and her education. And what we have here is Brittany bowls a lot of tournaments like JOG, a lot of the good like high school bowling and things like that she's been involved in. And what she has, she's got an arsenal of 8 bowling balls, which creates a problem. That doesn't have to be a problem. And the problem is we have confusion. That's the main thing that's going on here. Brittany has acquired an arsenal of balls through maybe the last year and a half or 2 years, bought for many different reasons, for many different lane conditions, but she's never really tracked what these balls are for. So if you can't remember, how do you know when you go to your bag? Say, for sake of discussion, say this ball right here happens to be the perfect ball in this lane condition, right? Let's just say that's the case. Now let's say the lane dries out a little bit. Which ball would you switch to? Perfect. Okay, that's what I want to point out. Perfect. That's the perfect answer. She doesn't know, and that's okay. I'm not beating you up with that. This is good because when we're done, she will know. And there's no doubt about it. You have to know what ball to switch to, because if this is the perfect ball in her hand, and she's bowling and she's doing very well, and now she moves to another pair, or the lanes dry out, and she knows she has to switch balls, she has too many options. And she's confused. She doesn't know what to switch to. So she, in her mind, is saying, I know this ball is no longer working for me, but I'm not sure what to go to. So the chance of her making a bad decision is very good. And because she makes a bad decision, she can go from rolling 200 plus games over and over to all of a sudden, I'll try this ball, and then she makes a bad shot. Then I'll try this ball, because she's reading off of bad shots. And you're really not sure how many boards to move, or when I look back and I have 7 other choices, well, which ball do I pick and why? Okay, so we need to figure it out today. So how do we do that? How about if we start like this? We got 4 chairs here. What I'd like you to do is take your best guess. There's no right or wrong answer. And pick the balls, and let's say this chair represents heavy oil. Pick the balls off the rack that you would put for heavy oil. So if you were on a really oily lane condition, what would be your first choice of ball? Okay, pick it up, put it on the chair. Alright. If you were on a really dry lane condition, what would be your ball you would think would come to your mind for a very dry lane condition? I don't know. You tell me. It's fine. Put that down at the other end. Down here. This is very dry. It's a dry lane. Okay? So we're starting to separate them already. Okay? Now let's go. Do you have any other balls for a really dry lane condition? Okay, put that one over there. We got 2 balls now, and now this is for dry. So we go here on this page. All right. So we got 8 balls here. All right. Now, how about? Do you have any other balls for heavy oil? Okay. Put that one on the heavy oil over here with your virtual gravity. Okay. Now we have 4 choices. We have 2 holes to fill. All right. How about for a medium heavy lane condition? Now, you were a little unsure between the 2 balls for heavy oil, but since you made a choice for heavy oil, we're going to go with that. How about we put this one in the medium heavy? All right, so that goes over here. Now we're down to 3 balls. Do you have another ball for medium heavy? And it's okay if you don't know, it's fine. All right, put that one on there with the easy rev 4 ball. All right, that gives us 2 left. We got 1 hole. Put them in there. All right, see how we narrowed it down? So already we've gotten better. All right, because now what we need to do, and we're going to do it from start to finish, I sort of thought I might get somebody like this today. All right, you save the best for last. All right, so what we want to do is, I just have a tablet here, and I'm going to mark it. Heavy oil. And we have 2 balls in that category. What are those 2 balls?
Virtual gravity.
Okay, so we have a virtual gravity.
And a hammer burn.
And a hammer burn. Okay. And the ball companies, if you're looking in here, you're probably pretty happy that she picked those 2 balls. That's all right. We gotta have a little fun when we're doing this, all right? Okay, we made a decision. All right, now we have medium heavy. All right. So for medium heavy, we have 2 balls. The first choice was what?
Magic.
The Magic. Is that what that is?
Or the back one.
Okay, this is a Magic. So what company makes that?
Ebonite.
Okay, so we have an Ebonite Magic. And we have Insane Leverage for motorage. Okay, and then for our medium dry lane condition, what do you got?
The
Zone? Is that it? Just the zone? Is there any other name to it? That's a Brunswick zone, okay? Zone by Brunswick. What else do you have?
And then the hot sauce.
The hot sauce, and that's a hammer ball, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then for dry lanes, what do we have?
The dash.
And who makes that?
Storm.
Storm badge. And what else do we have?
The magic touch.
And who makes that? Go ahead and look. You don't know.
Ebonite.
Ebonite Magic Touch. Okay. All right, good. Now, what type of player is she? That's the next thing we need to determine. Is she a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Now, go ahead and bowl on lane 3 and let's figure out what style player she is. Go ahead. If you get yourself comfortable with any ball you want, but when you're done, please put it back to the category where it's at. All right? Now you've been back there watching us do this for several different people. Have you, in your mind, picked a category number for yourself? A 4. Perfect. Exactly what I would have come up with. Okay? So her ball speed slightly dominates her rev rate. That does not mean that she rolls the ball hard. It just means for the amount of revs that she has on the ball, her ball speed slightly dominates. So don't get faked out. Just because she doesn't rifle the ball down the lane doesn't mean that she can't be a 4 or 5. So it's the comparison between the ball speed and the reference. And I think that's perfect. So now, we've identified her as a category 4 player. So let's go and put that ball back on the thread. Now we're going to go to the ball spinner, and based on her categories, we're going to set her bowling balls up. And she has a lot of options. Okay? She has a lot of options. So what we're going to do, we're going to take her 2 heavy oil balls, and we're going to put the most aggressive surface we have, which is 320 on one ball, and we'll put 400 on the other. So now the separation between the balls is going to be much closer together, which is great because you have a lot of choices. All right, so it's real simple. And there is no right or wrong answer on this. Out of those 2 balls, do you have a favorite?
Probably my virtual gravity.
Okay, so this is her favorite, the virtual gravity. So on heavy oil, a number 4 player. If you go to the chart, it says burgundy pad. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put burgundy pad on it. So I got fresh burgundy. You said virtual gravity, right? Is your favorite, okay? Good. The reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of this game is science, but also a lot of it is feel. All right? And she's more comfortable for whatever reason with this ball. So I want to have this be, when you have to go to a heavy oil ball, I want this to be your first choice, because if you're more confident in the ball or you're more comfortable with it, your odds of rolling an acceptable or perfect shot are better. When you force somebody to roll a ball they're not real comfortable with, chances are they're not going to roll it as well. All right, so we're going to burgundy pad this ball. So some people call that your go-to ball. All right, when you hit heavy oil, this will be your first choice out of your bag. But we also have a second choice, don't we? All right. Good. We got virtual gravity. You would write this down on your paper. We're going to do it on the board so we can come back to it. So for heavy oil, we're going to go virtual gravity. She's a number 4 player. So we went burgundy pad. Now our next ball in the heavy oil category is hammer burn. Okay, so I'm actually going up here with it. And if you look at your surface texture chart, what is more surface than burgundy pad? 400 grit. So we'll just put a different surface on it. All right, now out of these 2 balls, which is your favorite? And if you don't have a favorite, that's fine. We'll give you a favorite. Go ahead.
Mine's
So you like this one the best, all right? So if we go to the medium heavy category, for a number 4 player, I have 600 grit and gray pad. Gray pad. All right. When I was doing our pro shop business, customer would come in for a ball. What I would do is I'd watch them bowl and I would categorize what type of player they were. And that helped me decide where to steer them toward what types of balls. Then we find out what their budget was and what they wanted to spend for that ball, because we have different price points from premium to premium plus, or mid-price plus, and so on down the line, because most of the ball companies have balls in every category. And then I would pick the ball that was designed for that style of player. But after I picked the layout for them, measured their hand, made it nice and comfortable, and drilled the ball, most times before they even rolled it, I picked the surface out of that category. Because, as we saw earlier, what people tell you is, when you go down, let's say they're bowling with the ball and they're rolling away, and I'm watching reaction and I'm thinking, they need a little more, or they need a little less. I go up to them and say, what surface is on their ball? They'd either say, I don't know, or factory. In either one of those cases, how do I know what surface to put on the ball if I don't know where I started from? So I would take the brand new ball, match them up for whatever we wanted it for, and I put the surface on the ball before they ever rolled the ball. And in most times it rolled great. But if it didn't, and I know I needed a little more or a little less, which we just did here, gray pad, oh, we need a little more? Fine, we'll go 600. I'm sorry, a little less, we'll go 600. Okay, so you can work it around that way. I think we got You need to have a good starting point and know what that starting point is so that you can make adjustments off of it. Okay, so there's your gray pad. And then we'll go 600. So we got insane, right? That was an insane leverage. Leverage or something like that. And that was gray pad. And then our next ball is the Magic. We'll go 600. Go to the chart, you'll see for the medium heavy, 600 is the other ball in that category. Take our 600 paper, and we'll set it up. Now out of these two, which is your favorite? Or which one are you more comfortable with, or are you comfortable with both? Doesn't matter.
Comfortable with both.
Okay, she's comfortable with both. So we're going to pick one then. So let's go hammer hot sauce. And you know what? If you really wanted to be technical about it, I would pick the newest ball of the two because it's fresher. Is either one of these newer, or do you know? So this is the newer one. Let's go. We have two options. We have 1200 and 1000. So let's put 1200 on this. 1200 on that one. And this one, we'll go with 1000. The difference with Brittany, because she has an 8-ball arsenal, the separation between the balls are much closer together. So what we're going to do is actually have them listed as her 4 great favorites or fresher, okay? And then sort of a step down or above, okay? Just want to simplify it even more. Magic Touch. Do you have a favorite?
Probably the Magic Touch.
Magic Touch, okay? So the Magic Touch. And then the batch. Now what we did, if you look at this, the bottom ball in every category was her favorite. So I took an 8-ball arsenal and I took her 4 favorites from each of that category. In some of them, she didn't really have a favorite, so I took the newer ball and I made that her favorite. All right. So now what we have to do with the, I have compound, and because she has options, I will go with, let's put one with polish on it. Why not? She has a little slower ball speed, so what we started out with Brittany was, here we had somebody that had an arsenal of 8 bowling balls, but there was a lot of confusion because Brittany wasn't 100% sure where some of the balls in the middle played, and that's typical of what we find with somebody that has an 8-ball arsenal. She knew the balls that fit the heavy oil, she knew the balls that fit the dry. There was a little bit of confusion in between, but what we were able to do by working the system was actually putting the surface on the ball in the category that we picked the balls. So our heavy oil balls, we had the virtual gravity and the hammer burn. So she has 2 options in that category, the virtual gravity with burgundy pad and a hammer burn with 400. So when she gets on heavy oil, you'll know exactly which balls to go to, right? If you walk in and the lanes are really dry, you're not going to go to one of those 2 balls, correct? And then when she has, say the lanes dry out, she has 2 balls in the medium heavy category. The Ebonite Magic with 600, the Insane Leverage with gray pad. And this is all based on her style of being a number 4 player. When she moves to the medium dry lane condition, she has 2 balls in that category, a Brunswick Zone with 1000 and a Hammer Hot Sauce with 1200. Now there's no way you can remember all this stuff, which is why what we do is we categorize these balls, we write them down, and we mark what surface that we put on the ball. So all you have to do now is take this chart with you when you bowl. And always remember now when you go to a tournament and you happen to use, it's going to help you make good decisions, right? Depending on what you see out there on the lane. What you want to remember is when you're finished bowling, take the balls back to the ball spinner And then whatever surface you had on them, freshen them up because the surface will change as you go along. All right? Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Did it help you understand it better?
Yep.
All right, make better sense?
Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.